I, Victor Gryaznov, screenwriter, producer and director of the film studio of SMERSH. All actions and acts begin with incentive motive about it I know and I will tell. By film studio it is removed 3 documentary and 1 scientifically the popular movie, 2 diplomas, 1 international festival are gained. In June of last year movies were exposed in the internet, on YouTube and some other video hostings were viewing paid. After half a year the analysis was carried out. Result on set several thousands of viewings, small sums of money for viewings began to arrive. Output means to people interestingly, means it is possible to move further. Moreover, there were comments and letters with questions began to arrive. I systematized them and decided to answer. Why such names SMERSH, some abuse. First is closer to me the historian and adventure genre, spies frontier guards. Secondly, I in Moscow have a friend my father called in honor of him Victor Gryaznov. He is 87 years old, he is a professor, the doctor of science, the indigenous Siberian, is from Nizhneudinsk the Irkutsk region. 7. The summer guy I went to serve as the volunteer in counterintelligence, after war once struggled with bandits. Every day I risked life. Then I served an investigation of the VTR, having 7 classes of education. In Adzench I graduated from school, then Moscow State University. I defended 2 dissertations. Once he addressed me, Victor, write about us, about that as we 14 summer guys ran from the parent house, made the way on the front to be at war together with fathers. This address deeply sank down to me in soul. Movies about which I told are about a Japanese pilot, the suicide bomber who didn't execute to the job and ran away to the USSR. I put the airplane in the Soviet airfield. I lived in Siberia 42 years. About monuments to Stalin on Krka which were twice set and were twice destroyed. Last time in 2006. To whom did it prevent there? Not clear. Short history of Norilsk Combine. 1 scene game about military captured Japanese. I couldn't pass this subject by as I am a radical resident of Norilsk. Ponder Liet. About the spacecraft which will gather the speeds exceeding light velocity. About the Krasnoyarsk scientific inventor Gennady Ignatiev, the winner of the State and Lenin Award. The scientist isn't deservedly forgotten. Now in operation scientifically popular movie The Futurological Forecast. In it will be told about a post-industrial civilization, nanotechnologies, nanomedicine, about immortality. It appears already now it is possible to buy a cyber immortality for $3 million. Also there is a preparation for shootings of the feature film Treasure, comedy film. On a plot psychics look for Kolchak's gold. Why await a big cinema from this movie? Originally I wanted to shoot the movie about a Japanese spy of the Colonel of Investigation Yuji Yamaguchi. It is a real prototype, it worked against Russia, Verbovat our citizens. At the end of career I got into Norilag. Very interesting material. But colleagues from shop recommended to begin with a comedy film as comedy films of the last years in Russia pay off. Generally you will begin, so the peer farther and will go business. The scenario was given hard. It is well known that comedy films are the most difficult genre. It seemed that they're to play the fool. On the contrary, everyone wrote at school of the composition, knows what is creativity torments. You can't pick up that word, the phrase doesn't develop. And here I couldn't build a strategic line. There were different scenes, pieces, and it was impossible to aggregate them. Half a year I suffered, I postponed operation. The case helped. There arrived children on a visit, and them at us 5 grandsons. I sat then to sleep. Here also began. To one to sight at, to another still something, at the 3rd teeth are cut. In the middle of the night the cat shouted. The cat was necessary for it. A concert was picked up by a dog. I began a bark on someone. What here the dream went to kitchen. I sit I have tea. Then I hear along the corridor someone barefoot pinches splashes. It the grandson came running. I looked at me, I shouted I began to cry. I was frightened of me. And it became cheerful, easy for me sent. I took paper, a pencil and by the morning I finished operation over the scenario. Now we look for investors for shooting. Crisis business moves hardly. There were 2 small sponsors so far, but as they say precedent is received. At a film studio there are a lot of recommendations from the different organizations and people famous to all country. Are especially expensive it from Edward Yakovlevich Volodarsky and Vladimir Ivanovich Doljek, twice hero of socialist work. He is 92 years old. He continues to work. The Moscow City Council of Veterans heads. I store his letter as a relic. What to tell is a person a monument. If someone decides to support the project, here coordinates for communication. As the director, I can give to sponsor several roles. Not principal, it is finite. Professionals will play there. There are such affairs. Track advertising. At a film studio, there are a lot of recommendations from the different organizations and people famous to all country. Are especially expensive it from Edward Yakovlevich Volodarsky and Vladimir Ivanovich Doljak, twice hero of socialist work. He is 92 years old. He continues to work. The Moscow City Council of Veterans heads. I store his letter as a relic. What to tell is a person a monument. If someone decides to support the project, here coordinates for communication. As the director, I can give to sponsor several roles. Not principal, it is finite. Professionals will play there. There are such affairs. Track advertising.